You're listening to the Be Forever Cool podcast. My name is Rex Fortyfive. This evening we got Eli Block in the building. What's going on, man? How you doing?
I don't know, man. I'm feeling good. How about you?
Man, listen. I think that was it back in January, February? I think you've been on the podcast once at that point, and we were just talking about the year. We were talking about the podcast, and we were talking about what you had planned for running in MotoAmerica and stuff like that. And now we're down in August. And it's been pretty crazy, but it seems like in the do you think where you are right now, back when we were talking and stuff like that, did you think all this would have happened to where you are right now, and hopefully having some great news for the future?
Yeah, it's everything that's happened so far. I had a goal in mind, and I didn't achieve the goal I wanted, but I had a few goals. It was like, obviously I wanted to be in the run for the championship. And, as racing goes, there's a saying I'd rather have luck than skill most of the time. So, luck this year hasn't been great, but I learned a lot from it.
Right.
I've gone through injury, I've gone through, hard times, and that's what builds careers. It's not the fact that you have to go through it to be good. It's the fact that when you go through it, how do you respond to it? How do you respond to it? So, yeah, my goal was set pretty standard, and my teammate was it came out this year Byron. I didn't even be like not even be that person, but I wasn't even expecting it. My teammate Matthew has been on fire this year, and I didn't. That was coming into the year. I knew he was going to be fast, and I knew he was going to be a threat. I just didn't know how long he was going to take him to warm up to the fact where he was going to come out swinging, and it took him till the first race of the year to come out and win. So
Right.
he did an amazing job, and as people may know, he wrapped up the championship at the last round at Mid Ohio. So coming into Jersey, the first place is already taken, but the other two spots on the podium for the championship are still open, and that would be an amazing way to end the year.
Right.
So 25 points out of third right now. There's from third to sixth in the championship is separated by 26 points.
Wow.
So we're all pretty close, and now it just comes down to the last round, and it's going to be a dogfight.
Right. Yeah. I don't think it was only you. I don't think anyone saw Matthew doing what he did. The kid's 15 years old. You might have to start calling him Alvaro Batista. Just being light on the bike, right? Because he seems pretty small and stuff like that. So I know that's obviously helping him a lot. But I don't think anyone on the grid saw that. You might think Avery was going to try to defend the championship, and yourself and these other guys out there as well, as far as trying to get the championship. So it was pretty wild to see. And so how does that him get the championship, and you're trying to get to second or third place overall in the championship, but does that make the reality closer as far as like, okay, wow, well, if this dude can come in and did this on the first year, I don't know if it was his first year in MotoAmerica or not, and to win the championship, and I believe there's still 4 rounds left, or is it just?
There's just one round left, 2 races.
1 round left, 2 races. What does that do for the future for you as far as like, okay, next year, I got to come out swinging, and obviously, luck plays a part in it because, accidents and cars breaking down and these things, they all happen, and there's nothing we can do about those things. But it must feel good to see that, okay, the bike, I think the bike's going to be different for next year, but like, it must feel good to know that, okay, this team is a winning team, and, we can do something.
Yeah, for sure. I came into this year being, my first full season, and that's Matthew's first full season as well. He only did 2 rounds last year. Those was only 2 rounds he's ever done. And I came to this year coming in with about 6 rounds under my belt over the last 4 years. So Yeah, Barcon, it's a little bit different than in years past when they had the full team there. So it's kind of just been the two
Hmm.
families together doing what we gotta do. But no, it's cool. It's definitely, as a rider, it's, I don't know. You kind of don't want your teammate to beat you, but if anyone were to beat you, you'd rather be your teammate than anyone else. It's kind of a double two-edged knife. You got one side, you don't want to be beat by your teammate at all, but then in the whole retrospect, yeah, if anyone were to beat me and I could be on the podium with someone, it would be my
Right,
teammate
right.
who I share with most of my time with.
Yeah, exactly. And that is the hardest part. But it is. I mean, I think it's the stand up part of racing. I mean, it's not. It's in as far as the championship, it's all said and done. But it is love and the respect and all that comes afterwards. And yeah, it stings, right? I mean, for all for all of us. I lost last night playing my daughter against Mortal Kombat, and
Mm-hmm.
and I was beside myself. You know what I'm saying? So, if when it comes to if you're competitive, you don't like to lose.
No.
That's just the bottom line. But when you show the respect and when it's the team and overall when you look at the bigger picture overall, it just makes it, I don't want to say easier to swallow, but it obviously it definitely feels better than if it was somebody else.
Yeah, for sure. No, it definitely. It's hard to put on a fake face at times and be really happy right after something happens. Where it's like, and it's not like I'm being fake about it. I'm just at the moment when it happens, I'm not in a good place. Like especially after race two when he did wrap it up, I wasn't in the greatest place. I had to take some time for myself, but first thing I did was give the kid a hug on the pit lane. It's like
Right.
that. I am proud of the kid, but at that point, I'm proud of the kid. I show him that I'm proud of him, but then I have to take my time. I need to get me straight, take the time I need to make sure I become, I'm prepared for the next round. And, you know, whether it's just, that I sat at the podium, after the championship was awarded, I sat at that podium for, I don't know, it was downpouring rain. I sat there for about 20 minutes or so. I
Right.
just sat there in the rain for
Yeah.
20 minutes, just looking at the number one spot. It's just like, that's all I needed. That's all I need. I need my time to myself. And now I move forward, and
Right.
now we're ready for Jersey.
You're
And,
right.
I hang out with the kid at night and we're just having some fun. So it's just, yeah, it stings a little bit, but I can't, I'm couldn't, the kid earned every single bit of it. The kid went out there and, well, it was doubles after double after double after double header weekends where he keeps on winning. And it's just like, who's going to stop this kid? And
Right.
no one could.
Yeah, no, that's the part that's crazy. And I know we're talking about Jersey coming up, but let's talk about race one. You got on the podium in race one. I watched the race and stuff like that. Let's talk about that. Talk us through the race and stuff like that.
So the weekend was weird. Everything was about that place. Everyone makes the joke that Ohio's weird, and there's a weird shit that happens in Ohio, and no shit. That is the weirdest place I've ever been to, weather wise, track wise. Ooh, thank you. Appreciate it. Sorry. Ooh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We'll do another food review after.
Yeah, we do
Yeah,
everything
just
here.
the weather was weird. The weather was weird. The track was amazing, but I don't know. It was just a mix of everything going on. The energy around the place was pretty cool. There was a lot of fans that showed up. But from the first night when we moved in and we had the test on Thursday, the first night when we had a riders meeting, MotoAmerica gave us the heads up. We're like, you guys got to put your stuff away at night. And we're like, that's a weird first thing to tell us. They're like, shit gets stolen here, and we're like, that
Oh,
is like coming out from like racing all over the
yeah,
country
yeah, yeah.
and coming from where we're from, and it's like it's a big family, the track, and then we've never had to deal with this.
Oh, no
Like,
kidding.
sure, stuff happens, but like when you get the first thing of the weekend saying, put your shit away, stuff get will if you leave something out, don't expect it to be there in the morning. When that's the first tone of the weekend, it's a little, the energy is going to be a little little more tense during the weekend, like watching your back everywhere you go and making sure, taking keys out of things, doing things. I leave my Spree outside the middle of the road with the key in it, with extra gas sitting next to it, and it'll be fine.
Right.
No one's going to take it.
Yeah.
But, that was a weird way to start it off. But, we had a lot of time that weekend where the track was super green, where there was no rubber on it. And even on a 400, you would be spinning up a rear coming out of the corner.
Wow.
Just because the track has new pavement, but this is the first time I've ever ridden new pavement where there's no grip. Usually with new pavement, even with no rubber, there has grip.
Right.
But this track with no rubber, you might as well have been out on ice skates doing a little pirouette in the middle of the straightaway. So, race one went really well. We had our race supposed to be on Saturday. We usually have the one race Saturday, one race Sunday.
Right.
We went out first for the race, and I'm feeling really good. Coming off qualifying, like you're in the zone now already. I'm in a really good deep zone where I'm ready to go out there and do what I had to do, and go out and do our warm up lap. And earlier in the weekend, we had a session where it started raining halfway through our session, and 4 kids instantly went down because I lost the rear. I saved it, but I knew if it's drizzling, it's fine. But once you see big raindrops, stop, just ice skates. So from when that happened, I kept on the back of my head. I was like, okay, cool. Now just kind of give you like a little safety rating in your head. And we're going out, and it starts misting during our warm-up lap. And I'm like, great, this is sick. And then we pull around, get on the grid to go out, and it starts like picking up. Rain starts picking up. Rain starts picking up, and they're throwing out rain flags all around the track. And we're like, okay, like, what are we gonna do? Like, are we starting this race, or can we just pull in and not do this?
Right.
And next thing you know, Flagger walks off the grid, and the red light starts going up, and I'm like, well, shit. Get a great start. I'm right behind the top 3 going into turn 1.
Yeah.
Up in the 4th, and we're all in the white. Matthew's pushing us all up to the white paint line, and they warned us as well before the weekend. The track didn't paint with the sand gradient, so it's regular street paint.
Oh man!
So we're like, okay, so I'm used to it at least. A lot of kids were all freaked out. A lot of people were freaked out, like that's not allowed. Yada yada yada. I'm gonna sue. Who cares, dude? I'm used to loud, and I'm used to like if you're 3 feet away from the white line, you're still gonna crash. He kept on pushing us to white line. I'm like, okay. I just backed it off a little bit, and we're going in. And then I start feeling, in the rain. If you're racing in the rain and it's raining hard enough, you start getting pelted by rain. That shit hurts on your neck.
Yeah.
And I had that same feeling going into turn 2. I'm like, why the hell are we still doing this? Going into turn 2 and 3, I'm foot down, making sure I'm not crashing. I went up into the keyhole in 6th gear. I kept that thing in. I shifted up 2 times in the 6th gear to make sure that thing was bogging through the corner.
Right.
Yandel, first person crashes. Yandel goes down. Then Maddie squeaks by. Then Jaden Fernandez right in front of me. High sides, goes off track. I squeeze through, almost clip his tire and go through, and I make it. Then they throw the red flag. I'm like, great, so you guys just wanted to wait for kids to crash.
Right.
We pull in the pit lane, and they're like, all right. Everyone's running. My dad's running around, going to grab rain tires. And then after like 10 minutes, when people start like getting back to the pits out of breath, we're going to push this race to the end of the day. Oh. Great. All right, cool. So now we have to get out of the zone, chill out for the day, then have to force yourself to get back into it. So we kept on going throughout the day, and then they gave us a regular schedule, a tentative schedule of when our races will be if it's dry. Then more stuff happens close to the end of the day. We're still in our suits. I'm texting Hannah Lopa. I'm texting every single MotoAmerica official I have phone numbers of, saying, give me the update so I don't have to freak out.
Right.
All right, they're like, yeah. And then at around 6:20 at night, they give us the update. Yeah, your race is being pushed to tomorrow. Great, thanks. Continue on. We didn't get... What'd you say?
And I was going to say, that doesn't normally happen in MotoAmerica, though, right? Like, to get pushed back like that, and it's just a weird weekend.
Yeah, very weird.
So
So it just happened, and then Sunday morning, the track is horrible. The track is completely green. It downpoured the night before, so the track's half wet too. So a lot of us Junior Cup kids go out to turn 7 to go watch the chaos because why not?
right.
And there's like 4 Junior Cup kids out there, and we're like, yeah, no, we're all good. So we don't ride in the morning. So our first time actually on track is going to be for the race,
Oh, no kidding.
which that's another hard part because our warm up session was our only. Let me close the door real quick. Our warm up session on Sunday was our only time on track before our race.
Right.
So we all chose not to go out, which is a smart thing, but we just we didn't get to warm up or loosen up or do anything. So we go into the race and the warm up lap, my rear end's spinning everywhere. It's just pushing, chattering. I'm like, what the hell is this? And I'm just, all right, cool. I'm going to figure out the grip as it goes.
Right.
So I get a good start, and I think I'm in like a pack I'm like 5th. And I saw Matthew going. I'm like, cool. No one's going to catch him. Have fun.
Right.
Then in time, Jaden Fernandez actually left the group. And I kind of regret not going with him because I had the pace, but it took me too long to get to that pace to trust the grip. So I stayed in that pack, and I made sure I followed every single person in that pack for at least one lap, just so I knew where their strengths and weaknesses are.
Okay.
So I did that and came down to the last lap where Ella, I got lucky. I was 6th place coming across the line, and on the second to last lap, I dive bombed 2 of them in turn 1, which created a little bit of a gap, and somehow did not get drafted on the back straightaway, which was my saving grace. If I got drafted, it was game over.
Right.
So I kind of stayed. I did as much as I could to be smart to stay in single file, because if with how gravity and everything works, if 2 bikes are side by side, it's going to create a bigger bubble and more power of a draft. So I went down the straightaway, got onto her, and I drafted out sideways for a second, let off a little bit, then got back onto her, so I can still get that draft. So so I didn't create that big bubble for the kids behind me.
Right.
And I kept on, and I get it. Like on TV, it looks like I'm trying to pass her on the brakes or anything. Everything I was doing was to try create some type of distraction or block so the kids behind me could not pass me.
Right.
So when I went wide through turn 2 and 3, I went wide so no kids could do anything to me. I went super, super shallow. Like Ella was very shallow through the keyhole, turn 4. I usually went wide, cut back under. I stayed mid-track. I did everything I could to block people behind us. Right. We went too wide into the turn 6 just so people had no chance of doing anything stupid to me. So I knew, because I already knew from before, because I did the same exact pass into turn 13 on her early in the race. I was like, I'm going to do this again.
Right.
And I got a good drive out 12 and just lined up perfectly and came into that turn.
Had her on the inside.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
My phone went weird. There we go. So yeah, no, it just had her on the inside, and everything worked out perfectly. I held the line, and it pushed me to the inside, so it worked out very well. And I came across the line, and I've been wanting my first dry podium since I ever got my first rain win.
Right.
So that was the most excited I've ever been in my life for a third.
Nice. Yeah, you look pretty excited from what I could tell from the pics and stuff, as you should be.
Yeah.
It's in the moment. We have a lot of things going on in our heads in the moment and stuff like that. But always, being on a podium is always better than not being on a podium. But you know what I'm saying. And it was very entertaining to watch as well. So that was really good to see out there, and to see the talent that's coming up is crazy as well. you know, and have both your teammate one and you three, that makes the whole team felt good for the day and stuff like that. And you know, I did see from some of the other classes, the superbike and stuff like that, and super sport classes. Yeah, I mean, the weather and the track conditions really caught some guys out.
Oh yeah, I mean, shit. That first superbike race. What was it? First superbike? Yeah, first superbike race when Jake Gagne almost killed half the pack coming through turn 4.
Yeah, yeah,
Just shot off the track and went through the grass and almost murdered people. Like that's not a Jake Gagne mistake. That is just from the track.
yeah.
I
Wow.
think on the first lap or the first like 3-4 laps of superbike, we lost like half the pack from crashes.
Yeah.
Like it's not common. So yeah, the track definitely played a big role into that.
And in a situation like that, you know, should the organization, MotoAmerica in this case, is it? I mean, I know, you know, weather condition is always part of racing. Until they you know they shut it down for the day or whatever the case, or until the conditions get better. In a situation is a combination of just like new track plus just, you know, half the track wet, half the track dry. I know it's not exactly half, but you know, it was still pretty damp out there at times.
Yeah, even like for those races, it wasn't even wet. We're the like other than let me think. Super Sport got rained on once, but for both of our races, Junior Cup races got rained on. Both Junior Cup races
Right.
got rained on. So no one really experienced being rained on other than Super Sport, other than us. But at that point, it just washes away all the rubber. And maybe I don't want to sound like that guy, but maybe some people don't use their heads and think like, "Hey, it just rained. Rain will wash away rubber.
Right.
We won't have grip." It's like, some people maybe don't think about that when they're about to go out because they don't want to think of anything that might distract them. But it's not going to distract you. That's going to kind of keep you in one piece. So, it's just, and it's a mix of things. Maybe it's just some parts of the track would catch you up more than others. Some places of the track had more grip than others, so it would catch you out because you would have the confidence going through the first half of the track where you have grip, and then you come into the last corner and nothing and there's just no grip. So it's
Right.
like some people, it's just hard to say what happened this weekend other than the weather was just weird. It's no one's fault other than just the weather. Like,
Right. Right.
Remote America could have made some different choices, which me and Jason Pridmore were talking about for 30 minutes or so on Sunday. They could have made some different choices, but they wanted to get the weekend over and give the fans something to watch, and I completely understand it. But yeah, some of the choices could have been a little different.
Right. Right. And let's talk about race two. I think you finished fifth, if I'm not mistaken,
So,
sixth. Um,
yeah, finished sixth.
you know, let's talk about that. What happened there? Uh, before you take a
I
bite.
got a good start. Yeah, I got a good start. Really good start. And, it was just, I was behind the pack, stayed with them. And, yeah, just came into those back right corners. And I don't know what it was. I just kind of came into the corner, felt really good. Nothing crazy, nothing different.
Right.
And I grabbed my downshift. And, the Ninja 400 is such an amazing race bike. And it's such a race built purpose bike that, the transmission always works. The bike wouldn't shift.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Okay. Okay.
I'm I'm coming to the corner. I'm just trying to blip the thing, trying to grab the clutch. Nothing's shifting.
Yeah.
And then it shift down to third, and then it popped back to fourth. I'm like, come on.
Sounds like a
And so
KTM.
if you watch the video, I'm at the apex, and I start pushing, 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 pushing. I'm like, all right, there goes that. So I lost the toe of the first pack.
Right.
And after that, I tried my hardest that lap to catch up to them because I knew I had at least 30 seconds left of maybe being able to catch them before
Right.
the drafting started. And I was just too late.
Yeah.
That one mistake cost me a whole entire race. So I looked back out of turn 4 the next lap, and I looked, and Avery was right behind me. I was like, my Lord and Savior right there. That's my saving grace. Me and Avery can work together
Right.
and catch up with these two. I come around the next lap, he's a second behind me. I'm like, all right, that's not part of the plan, but okay.
Right. So he had
Let's
a
see
tough
what else we
time.
can do. Yeah, Avery's having a rough weekend. But I was in no man's land, and like I was no joke 6 seconds behind the group in front of me and 6 seconds in front of the group behind me.
Right.
I was running that pace that no one could run behind me, and a pace that was half a second a lap slower than people in front of me, which was made up in draft and just them working together. No
Right.
one was messing with each other. No one was doing anything. They were all working. They were all working together, which that kind of just put me out of luck. So yeah, it just I did. I rode my race, made no mistakes other than that small one on the start, and I couldn't really control anything that happened in front of me. So yeah, it wasn't the way I wanted to end the day after podium earlier in the morning. So yeah, just little small mistakes, and it could be worse. I did get 6, so still got points on the board, and yeah, moving on to Jersey brings me 25 points out of the third and championship.
Got you. And Jersey is a track you love, and I mean the weather can always be crazy at Jersey as well, but it is a fun track.
Shit, it could be snowing. Never know. It's end of September, early October. You never know. Could be snowing.
Yeah. Um, how cool is it to see and Nathan Betancourt on the grid with you?
It's cool. No, it's cool. It's definitely seeing anyone from Loudon at MotoAmerica is pretty cool because then it brings in more faces from home, and like it's cool to see the rider itself, but then it brings in the backing behind it. Like you have like double the amount of people from Loudon that show up there, and it brings their friends, their family that you're friends with, and kind of makes it that more home feeling.
Right.
So, no, it's cool seeing him. Adam Mascara was racing as well, and yeah, it's cool seeing the Loudon boys come out, and they're having this. Nathan had the same experience I had the first time. It's definitely eye opening. Your first time you go to MotoAmerica, you see how fast the top pack is,
Right.
and yeah, the pace is just aggressive. It's just really fast, and it's hard to just because you might be close to some of the riders at other tracks, and it's your home track, and you ride there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing I went through when you go away to those other tracks, and it could be your first time. Same thing. It's like it was my first time there at Mid Ohio as well. It's just we have that experience. We have that. I always tell people if I were to come back at MotoAmerica at Loudon, say on a 400, I probably would go a second faster, just
Wow.
because it's a different attitude where you go to MotoAmerica with. When you go to MotoAmerica, you're going to give it your 100% all. Not saying I don't at Loudon all the time. It's just you are there, you're in the zone, you're locked in all the time. So yeah, no, it's cool to see the kids come up and do the races. It's nice to see them do it, and I know for a fact they're going to learn something from it.
Most definitely. And yeah, before we wrap this up, you got one more round coming up in Jersey. Is that the end of the month, end of September?
End of September. Yeah, it's going to be a busy round. Just gonna. I mean, the press release should be coming out soon, but yeah, I'll be doing double duty at Jersey.
Got you. Well, okay,
So
double duty meaning
I'll be
running.
racing Super Sport and Junior Cup.
Okay then. Okay then. Yeah. What bike you gonna be running the Super Sport in?
I'll be racing my R6.
Okay. Hey man, listen,
So
R6 is one of the best bikes out there.
yeah, that's a nice. I love my bike. It's yeah, I'm gonna go down and do some testing sometime soon. I went down and rode there about 3 weeks ago. But yeah, we're gonna go down, do some testing, make sure both bikes are dialed in, and yeah, so I can give it my absolute all. Hopefully, it's not like I'm talking to teams or anything, but it's if I want to be able to talk to teams and make that impression, I got to go out of Jersey and do it, or at least make a show out of it.
As you say that, I was going to ask. So what are the plan? Are you starting to look for plans for next year? already. As you mentioned, that if you want to get some opportunities, Jersey's the place to be at. So, are you looking to stay in Junior Cup? Actually, it's going to be changed for next year. The name, I believe, with MotoAmerica.
Yeah,
Uh,
Talent Cup.
the Talent Cup. I believe they're on a different bike. Are they on a KTM engine bike?
Kramer.
Kramer,
Yeah, it's a
right?
Kramer. It's a Kramer frame with a KTM engine.
Right, right.
I have some very strong opinions about it, but yeah, no, I age out next year anyway. I
Gotcha,
age out
gotcha.
of that, so the only way I'll be able to race next year is to move up, and no plans yet. Nothing. I'm gonna take what if anything comes, I'll see what happens and go from there. But right now, I don't believe I've personally made a strong enough appearance yet um, to further on talk to other teams yet.
I see what you're saying. Yep. So,
Yeah, I kind of want to. I kind of want to show up.
got you. Show up and maybe do the privateer thing for a little bit and see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what goes on for next year. I know the rules are changing for super sports, so it kind of makes it a little impossible for an R6 to be, or it's not to be competitive. It's just for a privateer to run an R6. They make it a little bit hard to do it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think we saw that even in World Super Sport as well. I think they had to detune the Ducatis to give the R6 a chance. And I think in the last few rounds as well. So, or detune them even more, I should say.
Yeah,
That the evolution of the middleweight class continues. We're in this transitional state,
yeah,
Frankenstein sort of state, because you look at the 750s and the V2s and stuff like that. We haven't seen any. I don't think there's any MV Augustas in America in MotoAmerica.
yeah.
Um,
There's two. There's
okay,
two so far.
okay,
And Militia Paris's team runs the MVs.
okay. And so it does make it. It seems like you got to invest a lot of money in that R6 to really get it to be competitive with the Duck or the MV.
Yeah, a lot of money. It's like close to $18,000 on top of being stock.
Right.
Just to have it's just the regulations. Like my bike's super sport legal. My bike's completely ready to go race, but for me to be legal for next year, I need to spend another $18,000 just to make it the same bike as it is right now, just with a data package on it.
Right. Wow. Wow.
So it's
And
a little rough.
right. And I don't know if you know this off the top of your head. And is that the same cost for what folks got to do to the Ducatis and probably the MVs? Are they spending that kind of
It's a
money
little
as well?
different. So obviously the bike cost is going to be a little different. The Ducati obviously probably costs a lot more than the
Right.
R6 does, but they have to buy I think like a $7,000 to $8,000 ECU that MotoAmerica control, and it's fly-by-wire throttle. So what they do is restrict how much throttle they're allowed.
Okay.
So like I think the Suzuki is like 80 something percent throttle you're only allowed.
Wow.
So they're detuning them, which in the long run is way better than an R6 because you have to build the crap out of it.
Right.
Because so you're pushing one bike to its limit just to race with other bikes that are not pushing full power.
Right.
So sure, like yeah, you want to be on the bike that's I guess unrestricted, like the 600, but in theory you're destroying motors every once in a while. Like you're going through motors more, you're going through all this other stuff, but in the other part of that is the Ducatis have major electrical problems,
Okay.
and any bike that you're playing with electrical stuff and they're ran by electronics, you're bound to have problems with.
Right. Right.
So it's a hit or miss game that you have to play. And right now, I am dealing with a bike that is meant for beginner riders on the street.
Well, that's you'll ride it till the wheels fall off this year, and then
That's all we do.
yeah, and hopefully the universe will bless you with something for next year, and we can
So,
continue this journey. Man, I want to thank you for coming on, and I think we probably got like one more episode after the next round and stuff like that. But I do really appreciate all the effort. I know you've been really busy, Moto America and Loudon and training and teaching and and everything in between, and just being a young person. Just shout out your sponsors and tell people how they can find you.
Yeah. First of all, thank you again for everything. This is I really do enjoy at least having someplace that I can come and talk about the last few rounds and talk about what goes on other than just there's just more behind every round that people just don't get to see. So
Right.
you've given me an awesome outlet to come do that, and you've supported me this year, and I love it. And I really appreciate it. So, gotta thank Be Forever Cool podcast. Congrats again on 100,000 subscribers. That
Thanks.
plaque looks real nice in the back right there.
Thanks, man. I couldn't have done it without you.
Thank. I like to thank all my team, Barcon Racing, my parents, my whole family. Dunlop tires, KYT helmets, Anthem suits, Dunlop tires. I think ours are like K-Tech suspension, Alpha Omega, AI. Well, I think it's AI1. I forgot what it's Daniel Karen's new crazy freaking AI detecting software for videos and
Okay.
photos. It's crazy stuff. Like a lot of these photographers now are going to be start using this thing, and they don't have to go manually through and enter numbers. This whole entire software goes through and sees numbers and adds them all into a folder. It's wild.
Okay, then.
So
Well, you want to talk,
yeah,
talk about that a little bit more if you can, or definitely off air, because I like the tech stuff. So
yeah, it's crazy. So Behringer brakes. I know I'm forgetting some, but everyone appreciate it. Thank you guys, and yeah, on to Jersey.
on to Jersey. My name is Rex45. We got Eli Block in the building. It's the Be Forever Cool podcast. Peace.
Peace.